Greetings. In this video, we'll be learning about phase 1 of the group project in the Principles of Management course. This phase 1 is called Planning, Survival of the Fittest. So, this phase 1 is from January 17 to February 20, 2025. The evaluation of this phase 1 will be based on the following criteria: clarity and coherence of value proposition, sustainability and scalability of revenue model, alignment and integration of key components, and product quality. This evaluation will happen on February 21st, 2025, tentatively. Now, after this particular phase, 50% of the startups will be eliminated. Also, the surviving startups or companies will be allowed to fire their employees in case they find that they are not contributing much. So, the preliminary requirements to build a particular edtech startup are these. First, you have to build a team of 4 members plus the leader, who is also called the CEO. Second, you need to create a brand name, define your mission, vision, and values for the startup. You design a logo in order to give it a visual identity. Start taking minutes of the meeting for every meeting. Create a tagline that is catchy enough to attract eyeballs. Create buzz before launch of this particular startup in terms of marketing and branding. Build an email list of your target customers. Plan to register your business and intellectual property rights. So here in this particular point, you need to know how do you register your startup. Create partnerships and community connections. So how you will be managing the different partners, the different suppliers, that ecosystem you should be knowing very, very well. Now, point number 10 is very important, which is tell your story. And this is about unique selling proposition, which is also called value proposition. Now, this value proposition comes from two important analyses. One is pestle analysis, and another one is SWOT analysis. So, when we talk about pestle analysis, it is political, economical, social, technological, legal, and environmental. Whereas SWOT analysis is strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So, in SWOT analysis, the company tries to find out what are its strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Now, strengths and weaknesses are internal to the company. The company has all control over leveraging the strengths, containing the weaknesses or overcoming the weaknesses, grabbing the opportunities, and avoiding the threats. So, these opportunities and threats are external to the company, and that's where pestle analysis is important to know which are the forces that would affect your company in the future. Now, 11th point is prepare a pre launch marketing strategy. For all these, and especially for point 10, you need to do a lot of research. You can look for industry reports, you can look for newspapers, you can look for some industry inputs from interviews of tech giants, or you can also look for what economists have to say. So, all these inputs should be given in your unique selling proposition with references. So, the output of phase 1 are two. One of the outputs is a business model canvas. The typical business model canvas has all these components, and the points that we had discussed before will help you out in creating this business model canvas. So it has key partners, key activities, value proposition, customer relationships, customer segments, key resources, channels, what is the cost structure within your company, and what are the revenue streams that you are expecting. Now, these numbers should be realistic, should be reasonable, even if they are hypothetical. So, a sample business model canvas for a bakery store which is planning to launch could be like this. Similarly, you need to create a business model canvas for your company, for your startup. Now, remember here, when you talk about key partners, these have to be very specific and real ones. So, which is your key partner? You need to find it out. Who could be your key partner? You may not contact them, but you should be knowing as to who could be your potential key partners and the reasons behind it. So, for all these, you need to give reasons as to why do you think, for example, this is 1,50,000 investment initially in the equipments, right? Similarly, why do you think that website will be having 10,000 initial cost for online ordering? So word of mouth and local community events you have chosen, but why you have chosen only these two channels? For all these, you need to have some backup, some support. So all these have to come with references. So the moment you mention that sales from in-store purchases would be around 1 lakh per month, so you need to mention a potential future prediction by a industry report or by an economist or by an industry giant. Now you can create your own business model canvas. A link is available here, and there are several links that you can use for different tools, and also links for different resources that are available, which will be provided in the description box. So you can just click those, that will help you out in creating your business model canvas. The next output is the products. So there have to be 4 products for each startup that has to offer 2 products that are already designed and developed. These have to be physically played, and the 2 virtually played products that are only designed, these need not be developed. So 2 in game based products and 2 in gamified category. Now all these products will have instructions manual. So what should this instructions manual have? It should be guide about the product. But a standard manual would look like this, that is about the game. It will have learning outcome from principles of management book. Second, game genre. So that is, whether it is a competitive game, whether it is a leaderboard game, what kind of game it is. Then you have to play the game and video record it. Next is introduction. In the introduction, you'll have objective of this particular game, target audience of this game, duration, etc. etc. Preparation should be also mentioned, like what are the different materials required for this and what kind of setup is needed. So remember, the game should be as simple as possible, yet as informative and transferring the learning as much possible. So it should be very, very effective yet simple. So when I say simple, it should not require a lot of materials and should not require a setup that is very difficult to create. A game structure should have an overview of the game, then the different phases that could be there in the game. Fourth one is debriefing and reflection. That is, you need to do a group discussion as to how this particular game was and whether the learning outcome has been achieved or not. An individual reflection as to how did they play the game, and also what could be the better ways of playing the game. Now, the assessment has to have the different criteria for succeeding in the game. Okay. And what is the rubric in order to test whether the learning outcome that has been mentioned here has been achieved or not. Conclusion has to have a wrap up and feedback from different participants of the game. Last one is you have to advise from the past experience of executing the game from the instructor's point of view. So it is instructors' do's and don'ts instead of the participants' feedback. Thank you.